What you know you can't explain. But you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong. You don't know what it is, but it's there. Like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. Experience the awakening. Brilliant anonymous researchers. Patriots, join us in the Patriot Army. Trust the plan, pain coming. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. RedStateTalkRadio.com, Brighteon.tv, Rumble.com/MG Show. The end won't be for everyone. That choice to know will be yours. Where we go one, we go all. Fight, 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 and fight we will. We fight every day right here on the MG Show. Oh my God, I'm still ringing from that end, that intro, guys. Welcome to the MG Show. Whew. It's Friday, Shady.
We made it.
We made it. We made it to Friday. Trump is moving at breakneck speed. The speed of the way that he is moving, the mainstream media cannot even keep up. You know, people are saying, when are arrests going to happen? Well, we've got James Comey indicted and Letitia James. So everybody can STFU about that. And we have to understand that you need a grand jury to make a case, to make charges. In order for the process to happen, let's all just realize that arrests are starting to happen. Well, I want to see him in cuffs. Well, James Comey was indicted. They didn't put him in cuffs, and he's got a court case. I mean, what do you want from us? What do you want? JD.
What do you want? What do you want from us on Friday? Welcome to the MG Show here on Friday. I'll tell you one thing, that we don't have the military marauding around and like rounding everybody up. Remember, like that's the big narrative that's going around. And I'm getting ready to tell you how that could possibly bite you in the rear, because right now you've got the Democrats that are all screaming and yelling and virtue signaling and saying that Donald Trump's going to use the military to stop the election, which is exactly what the two of us were telling you would happen if Donald Trump tried this devolution crap that was being told to you 4 years ago. So as you can clearly see, the way forward, whenever we started doing this broadcast, Jeff, the way forward we knew to be the by the book, that old by the book thing that everybody forgot about, and let their cynicism eat their soul.
Cynicism and ridiculous decodes from ridiculous anons.
Yes.
Real Iron Eagle, winning. Thank you so much. $5 Rumble at Yao Ming, excuse me. We are winning. Thank you, Yao. Appreciate you. And Midnight's Watch. Let's go. Let's do this. And Steph, my favorite moderator.
Oh my gosh.
$20 is $20. Super thankful to spend another year with such amazing people for my birthday. Let's start the $20 challenge for my favorite brothers, Jeff and Shady. Love my MG fam. Her birthday is tomorrow. She's not getting older. She's getting longer.
I'm not going to ask you what that means.
She knows. I think you all know.
That $20 is $20. God bless you, Stephanie.
Thank you, Steph.
What a year. Especially for you and your family. I saw some pictures yesterday of your boys out there at football practice.
Baggage.
I'm so thankful for you and for the way that the bounce back, and to prove positive of what it is that we're doing here. We're acting like Americans.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
You
everybody
mean caring for other people instead of ripping
caring
them
for other
apart and making lies up about people? That's not American?
that would be not American. Yeah, that's this online thing that's like really disgusting and gross. And whenever I was a kid, we didn't think about what your politics were before we lent a hand. And that reality that we're facing is a communist reality, as a matter of fact. Like that is what communism is. You can't trust anybody, therefore you might as well beat them down rather than lift them up. That's not what America is. And I have a feeling, Jeff, you know, and I'm very encouraged. And I'm going to say this. I'm very encouraged by what I'm seeing. 130,000 now is the number of newly established turning point chapters around the country. You know what that means? That means that there is a web that is being created below us, the younger people, below all of this nonsense that's been in our conversation for our whole lifetimes. There's a whole web of people that see through it clearly, and they're standing up and they're speaking up. And that means that whenever we are a little bit older, our country's still going to be here. Okay. Yeah. Because we didn't stand up in the right way. They're doing it. They're standing up in the right way, and I'm so encouraged. And I'm going to be proud of them. I'm going to be proud of those young people out there that are saying, you know what, you people are lunatics.
Yeah, basically batshit crazy, Shady.
Both sides.
All right, Sandy Star White, challenges on X's and O's, $20 Rumble rent. Thank you, Sandy. Appreciate you. Land of Hoya, I'm in. Love a dollar challenge. Land of Hoya. Can I get a Hoya, Shady?
Hoya.
Ross Spur. $20. You're up for that. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Mikey Mariano, Stefanon, happy birthday. $20. NG Brothers, love you, Steph and MG family. Thank you so much. And Ducks, I'm in. $20. You're in. Thank you guys so much. And, thank you all for, it was a little over a year ago, I believe. We all helped Steph get back on her feet and take care of those beautiful boys that she's got. And Steph, I wish you many, many, many more happy birthdays as you deserve them, because you're an amazing person as well. And yes, I did admit it on the live that you are my favorite moderator. But you know what? It's everybody. Every moderator's birthday is my favorite moderator. How's that?
Well, a lot of maybe some of the people out there don't realize that Steph lost her house last year in a fire, and she almost lost her life last year in a fire. And right now, Jeff, this is 2025 is 10 years since I almost lost my life in a fire. Yeah. My house burned down in 2015. And I was trying to find, I was in the house. I was trying to find my cat. I couldn't find my one cat. I didn't know where she was. And as I jumped out the window of that burning house, I shattered my left heel and didn't walk for about a year and a half. And so it's 10 years since that happened to me. And now I can walk. I can go out now. And I did this thing a month ago where I did I did 6 rounds of golf in 8 days, and I did it without being in excruciating pain. So that was like a pretty amazing milestone for me. So it's a testament to the human spirit. And by the way, and I think Steph may say this too, I'm not sure. It took me a while to realize this, but I understand why the fire had to come into my life now. I didn't understand that.
Yeah, sometimes lessons are learned later. As much
I wouldn't have found all of you guys without that fire.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And Steph, God bless you. Happy birthday. Tell those boys I said baggage. It's the word of every day over there at Stephanie's household with the boys. Storm Rider 94 XOXOXO. Thank you so much. Real Iron Eagle. I love my MG Show family. Midnight's Watch. Gonna match it today. Happy birthday, Stephanon. Cram Crulla YT. God bless you all, Patriots. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate you. You guys are amazing. And we've helped her so much, and just this right here means so much, Steph. Because you've been through this as well, where we have what we think are friends, and we invite them into our family, and then they use us and then throw us out and then attack us, and it's happening over and over and over. And I'm glad you guys are finally seeing it, because these people you won't stop. What we are doing here on the MG Show is not anything but trying to stay on top of Trump's message, okay? Not some influencer, not some other buddy. Trump, President Donald J. Trump, who is the one that is giving the government back to you, the people. So what we do is we follow Q and we follow Trump, and we've been pretty spot on. They're talking about Hans-Jörg Wyss now, okay? 4 years ago, we told you that name. So I'm very proud of what we do here. And the people that are trying to despair just don't talk about Hans-Jörg Wyss. They talk about BS theories about Charlie Kirk and how Trump is, Israel. You guys are insane. This show is staying steadfast and true to the truth. And if you think that's belligerent and it hurts your feelings, sorry. Okay? Because the truth doesn't get a lot of clickbait, does it, Shady?
No, it doesn't. But even a step further than that, I would say that this is my administration. And this is the way I'd like to characterize it for me personally. Maybe you agree with this, but this is my administration. I worked for this. I worked hard to get these people. I worked hard to get Donald Trump in a position where he would go out and get central casting. What I knew he would do is he would go find central casting for every single person in this cabinet, and that they would work in a seamless manner and they would work together to actually fix problems. That's what I voted for. So I'm currently in a position of giving them the benefit of the doubt, not trying to erase, erode, and degrade every single thing that they do. They are cleaning up an extraordinary huge mess that's been left in these departments for the last 50 or 60 years. Nothing has ever worked properly. And so they're trying to orient everything and make it work properly. Meanwhile, people that are embedded within these organizations are trying to undermine them in real time, and they're rooting them out in real time, and we're watching them root them out in real time, which is exactly what we asked for. So what in the world would you do? It's basically like biting off your own hand. Why are you attacking yourself? If you work to get this guy elected, why are you like pivoting immediately and acting like he's doing to you what it was that he stood in the way of when he was elected before? It makes no logical sense. It's all about clickbait, and it's all about attention on the internet, and has nothing to do with following the truth or building your country. Remember, Jeff, remember what we tell everybody. We're here to build. We're not here to just like fix the things that are wrong. Wouldn't you like to build some stuff on top of it? Couldn't we do better? It's like we don't just have to fix the curb. Let's build a nice new building on the empty lot. Let's make a manufacturing company. Let's actually do something productive. It's not about just fixing what's wrong. It's about reorienting your mind so that you can do what it is you want to do and have the means to do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've been fighting for, man.
So I want to keep going real quick because we got more challenges. Midnight's Watch. Thank you, Shady. Gonna match it today. Happy birthday, Steph Anon. Midnight, thank you. I already got Cram and you, Midnight. Thank you again. Thank you again. Rev Rob, happy birthday, Stephanon. Here's a match for your candles. KX2, God bless the MG family. Happy birthday, Steph. Kimmy Max says, happy birthday, Steph. Challenge accepted. Thanks to all who participated in this quest for our truth for the MG fam. Thank you. Lee Stevens, thank you so much. Wood Chips, thank you, $20. Cupid's Cowgirl, happy birthday. Not getting older, you're getting wiser. Okay. Oh, yeah. That is true.
That I understand.
Not longer, but wiser.
Right.
P83, $20. Challenge accepted. Happy birthday, guys. Thank you all so much for that, guys. And we love you. Now, I want to just real quick, before we actually look at, maybe I should look at, let's watch the First Lady, of the United States of America. And let's, wow. Here's what she had to say about her announcement. It's only about 5 minutes long. Let's check it out. And then we're going to talk about it, Shady, because there's something in here that could be a pesky Q-proof.
Look out.
Here we go. Thank you, Perkins Perspective. Happy birthday, Steph. This is the day God has made. Every day is rejoice.
Knows no borders, no flags. We must foster a future for our children, which is rich with potential, security, and complete with free will. A world where dreams will be realized rather than faded by war. Much has unfolded since President Putin received my letter last August. He responded in writing, signaling a willingness to engage with me directly and outlining details regarding the Ukrainian children residing in Russia. And since then, President Putin and I have had an open channel of communication regarding the welfare of these children. For the past 3 months, both sides have participated in several back-channel meetings and calls, all in good faith. We have agreed to cooperate with each other for the benefit of all people involved in this war. My representative has been working directly with President Putin's team to ensure the safe reunification of children with their families between Russia and Ukraine. In fact, 8 children have been rejoined with their families during the past 24 hours. Each child has lived in turmoil because of the war in Ukraine. 3 were separated from their parents and displaced to the Russian Federation because of frontline fighting. The other 5 were separated from family members across borders because of the conflict, including one young girl who has now been reunited from Ukraine to Russia. I have learned a lot about this matter during the past 3 months. Russia has demonstrated a willingness to disclose objective and detailed information reflective for the current situation. The Russian Federation provided biographies and photographs of each child involved in this week's reunification, along with an overview of the social, medical, and psychological services afforded to the Ukrainian children. Further, I was provided a detailed report which verified the identities and circumstances of these 8 individuals. The US government confirmed the facts contained within this document are accurate. It is important to note the original verification report was jointly prepared by the Commissioner of the Verkhovna Rada of Ukraine for Human Rights and Office of the Russian Presidential Commissioner for Children's Rights. As First Lady, this is an important initiative for me. It is built on shared purpose and lasting impact. My ongoing mission is twofold: to prioritize, to optimize a transparent, free-flow exchange of health-related information surrounding all children who have fell victim to this war, and to facilitate the regular reunification of children with their families until each individual returns home. Additionally, I have raised concerns regarding those who were minors at the time they were displaced by the war, but have since reached adulthood and currently reside in Russia. Given the dangers of traversing this war-torn region, their safe return requires coordinated assistance. Accordingly, Russia has agreed to rejoin the individuals who have turned 18 within a short period of time. Again, this remains an ongoing effort. Plans are already underway to reunify more children in the immediate future. I hope peace will come soon. It can begin with our children. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow. Oh, God bless her. Shut up, press. Wow. That's your first lady, guys, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, what an amazing woman. And, you know, this is about the children. What's the one thing that can unite everybody worldwide, right? That's the children, in my opinion. Now, Shady, there's something very interesting about what she said today as well. And I want to just kind of point it out because this is a possible pesky Q-proof. All right. Melania Trump says she's having direct backchannel calls with Russian President Putin to return displaced children to their homes in Ukraine. 4818. Tracking good. Relay backchannel S-WH-E-P1. Fly high Q. On 6/28/2020, this was an archive link about Q proofs. If the news is untrustworthy, are corrupt, controlled, and simply an extension arm of the Democrat Party, how do you circumvent controlled lines of communication, propaganda? How do you communicate directly with the people? Back channels are important. Information warfare. Knowledge is power. Q. Shady Grove. This is a possible pesky Q proof.
Wow.
Now, I want to also just show you about this S-WH-E-P1. The White House has Cisco telephone systems. Okay, guys? This S-WH-EP1 could be a unified communications configuration, okay, where the secure line is. It could be secure, White House, what room it's in, and P1 is like priority one, okay? So if you look at what is this, while it's not a standard Cisco phone model, because I'm asking about the code or the configuration, okay? It could plausibly be a Cisco phone configuration identifier in large-scale deployments. Administrators using naming conventions for devices and configuration files to help manage many phones through a Cisco Unified Communications Manager, the CUCM. I sold many of them. And so this is it. So the code S could be, a pattern, right? This could be a building or a department or secure. Sales or support. WH could be referred to a specific location like White House. E might be the floor of extension, possibly the device, or executive. P1 likely designates the specific location of floor within that section, such as pod 1 or phone 1. Okay, so if you have a TFTP configuration files, it requests you to, put in the SIP to MAC address all the way over to the configuration. So it uses its own logical device names, but the code could represent a logical device name in the CUCM, which is then mapped into the phone's MAC address. This could be a Cisco phone that the White House uses, that the First Lady has back channels with Putin, Shady.
Wow, isn't that interesting? And that's also making me think about is the security of the calls. Are we noticing we're not hearing any leaks about like what Donald Trump is saying to foreign leaders? Are we noticing that? Why is that? Why did Donald Trump understand that when they were listening to him in the first administration, and it was almost like he was feeding them what they needed to make fools of themselves. And now all of a sudden they don't have the ability to like get any information. I mean, we have Melania, they can obviously talk to Putin, and we haven't seen it released into the New York Times yet before she came out and said it right there, Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what else? I think
pesky.
Very pesky, but I think that at the end of the day, I think that part of what Q was a deterrent to World War III, an off ramp, if you will, from World War III, so that they would not be able to escalate our minds in a way and weaponize the American people like they did in World War I and World War II. They got everybody all ginned up and ready to send their boys overseas to die in a foreign war. You see, at the core of it, Jeff, the founding fathers, whenever they created this country, they thought that they could create a country that didn't really have any enemies. You know why? Because we weren't going to mess with you. We were going to take care of ourselves, and our charter was going to be to take care of Americans. We're not going to nation build. We're not going to try to attack you. We're not going to try to bring our troops on your soil. We're not going to inundate you with any of these things. That was the idea of the country. But didn't we go off the rail a little bit here in the last 60 or 70 years since World War II? Because the people that are in charge are the people that want you destroyed. And now the people that are in charge are the people that are trying to save you, and the people that want you destroyed are trying to destroy the people that are trying to save you. That's the reason all this Israel nonsense. That's the reason all this Epstein nonsense. You're noticing that all these influencers, quote unquote, on your side are now like giving the Epstein talking points to the left. The left is now more concerned about Epstein than you ever were, which I find hilarious. And the last thing I'll say is this: war, anti-war. If you are anti-war, it doesn't mean you're a hippie, okay? I want to explain that to you because it's just like the word conspiracy theorist. If you're anti-war, you're automatically assumed to be a hippie, okay? That is a term that was utilized and branded on people that didn't want to go to Vietnam for no reason so that they could smear you and attack you in the press as they generated this whole scene of communist people running around the country watching concerts, okay? So the whole counterculture movement was actually twofold. One, to divide the country, and two, to create this distinction in between the people that were too weak to fight. Therefore, the Republican Party that you became known as the neocons, that's where the neocons got their power, was off of the hippie, quote unquote, generation. So now that's all being thrown away. We don't really have an enemy, okay? Russia's not really our enemy. China's not really our enemy, because if we did things right as Americans, we wouldn't have created them as enemies. And I think that Melania and Donald Trump are working to end war.
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick, White Yeti, $20 is $20, and that means you're in luck. Happy freaking birthday, Stephanie Reha. Kimma says only able to throw 5 sticks on the wood pile, but I love you guys. Happy birthday, Steph. Let me just get through these. Trust, 1961, Steph. Happy birthday. Love the MG Show family. God bless you all. Thank you guys so much. Wow. Eddie Mike, $20 is 60 cents. Tunnel Hill Cowboy, wow, 10 subscriptions to the MG Show. Thank you. Zifna, I'm evoking fractional reserve banking on this birthday challenge. That's $2.
Oh, Lord. What does that mean?
$2. That's what that means.
Oh, fractional. I got you.
Mickey B, wait for it. A FLOTUS is an asset of Putin. Happy birthday, Steph. You deserve every blessing. Yeah, they're going to say that.
That's exactly what they're going to. They're probably already generating the articles.
Already doing
out before nighttime.
Yeah. However, I hope you guys enjoyed, that possible pesky Q-proof and how the phones are set up in the White House. They use Cisco phones. I know this. You see him on his desk. And, I'm kind of a geek and I used to sell that stuff.
Yeah, but also the technology, just like I said, it's obviously they use the technology to give them the information they wanted before, and they're keeping the information from them now with the technology because we didn't know she was talking to Putin.
Right. Wow.
No, crazy. I mean, it undergirds your theory.
And if you look at the post as well, let's just take a look at it. Let's look at this one right here. No, this is the one.
Not that one.
Fly high. What was over Putin's head?
The B-2.
The B-2 bomber?
That was, by the way, I didn't see that in real time and went back and watched that later. That was the most epic moment I think that I've ever seen. He was startled. Putin was startled in that moment. He's like, what the hell is that? Like something was, and then it's like Trump's like comforting him. He's like touching his arm. He's like, oh, it'll be okay, Mr. Putin.
You're good. if you just play nice.
You're messing up.
That is a pesky Q-proof. I'm going to ask you guys to go ahead and please comment on it. I mean, I'm noticing very little interaction with anybody. Maybe it's because you don't see my posts or because we're that throttled down. I don't know. But please help me out a little bit, guys.
Yeah, I mean, even reposting and liking isn't as good as commenting on our posts. If you guys make comments, it's the best way to get them to go somewhere.
Yep. Wow. So, here we go. That's, thank you guys very much. So that's that. Today, in the second half of the show, Shady, we are going to be doing, oh my gosh, it's going to be kind of a crazy one because Pandora's Box by Alex Christopher. She wrote the book. A lot of people think it's a guy, but it's a woman. And Fritz Springmeier, when he did the Illuminati Bloodlines, referred everybody to read this book. And I didn't know that until now. It's the Pay Sewer thread that we did with the railroads. You see them right there. And we're going to be talking about no respect for human life. Do you think right now, with what you're seeing with the medical industry, that there is no respect for human life, Shady?
Yes, I do.
They call it healthcare, but it really is disease care.
Yeah, it's healthcare, all right.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah, healthcare. You talk about the inverted narrative.
Yeah. And apparently, Trump a lot of people are saying, hey, let's get this Nobel Peace Prize to Donald J. Trump. There's a Nobel Peace Prize winner, Marie Corina Machado. She's dedicating her prize to the President Trump. And the link is in Zoom chat, Shady.
Oh, wow.
Thank you, Yeti.
She literally did. Wow, that's breaking news.
That is.
Wow,
how's the camera
guys.
Today, Shady? Am I better?
Oh, you're much better.
Am I shiny? Am I too shiny?
Oh, no. You powdered perfectly.
Okay, good. Because I have to get my things out of my eyes, make sure. All right, so we got that in the second. So what I want to do kind of right now is I saw Jesse last night, and then Donald J. Trump posted Jesse today as well. We're going to go through a little bit of this timeline because, you've got Letitia James, being indicted, guys. That means that the judicial process is working. You can't just walk in and arrest people. You need to have charges brought, okay? How do you do that? With grand juries. Why are grand juries so important? To make charges. Then you get an indictment. Then you go to trial, okay? That's what's happening. That's what's happening right now. So those worthy arrest people can stop it. And there are going to be more. because Kash Patel is promising accountability, Shady. So we just have to do it by the letter of the law, and sometimes the justice systems move slow, but when it moves, boy, it'll start cranking and churning, Shady.
Yeah, it's going to, because you know what's even better about this case with her in particular? She essentially, whatever this scheme that she conjured up for herself to get this mortgage, and the way that she overvalued the property and undervalued the estimate or whatever it was, the process that she went through to get this mortgage is almost identical to what she was accusing Donald Trump of doing with his Mar-a-Lago property.
And not only is it $18,000 in money lost for the banks, so the banks are out $18,000 because she lied, okay? And then that could also, it depends on what she did in her insurance companies too.
Yes.
That could also be insurance fraud. This lady is a fraud.
But then the thing is that she took like the criminal acts that she was doing, instead of be quiet about it, she came out and then she like tried to like project her criminality onto the most powerful man on planet Earth and pretend like he was doing what she was really doing. And now she's being prosecuted for doing what she was accusing him of doing.
It's so crazy.
The dynamic could not be more perfect.
And then they're acting like
a storybook.
Then they're acting like she didn't weaponize the justice to go after Trump, and then we are.
Yes.
Up is down, right is left. You guys are insane, you Democrats.
It's so nuts, man. I mean, you know, you would really honestly think that they would have just a shred of shame for some of this stuff, but they do not. They are so comfortable still. It's crazy.
A woke citizen that says, I trust Trump to have done a good job in picking the right people. Yes, in the first administration, he did not, because he left it to Reince Priebus, Chris Christie, and VP Pence. And they put a bunch of deep state characters surrounding them. Infiltration, not invasion. Now, because Trump knows who's who and what's what in Washington, D.C., he picked his own cabinet.
Central casting.
Wow. All right, here we go. This is last night on CNN. Check it out. President Trump wants you to watch this. Here we go, Shady Grove.
Now you're blurry.
Well, defense attorney David Schoen is with me now. David, welcome. As you have heard and undoubtedly seen and anticipated, James and her defender say that the charges are motivated by politics and Trump's pledge of retribution. Is that all it is? Do you buy it?
I don't buy it. I mean, first of all, that ought to sort of fall on deaf ears, given that she campaigned on a promise of getting Trump, that sort of thing. So I don't think that's going to go very far. And nor
will that fall on legal deaf ears or just the court of public opinion? Would a judge see it that way?
Both, I think, because
legal.
I think so. I think that first of all, I think it's relevant. But secondly, I think that the vindictive prosecution and selective prosecution claims that were brought in the cases that she brought didn't go anyplace either, despite the campaign promises and threats to get Donald Trump. But listen, nobody likes a weaponized justice system. But this indictment speaks for itself, I think. I know you mentioned, the government's credibility will be at issue, but I think the government will just rely on the documents in this case. And I think very interesting point you raised about the line in the indictment about what she represented to the IRS. That is that she told the IRS it was an investment property, no personal days in the property, and so on. I think that's relevant to proving that she allegedly knowingly lied in the documents to the mortgage company in which she said she was going to live in the house and wouldn't rent it out. So they can't have it coming and going. And if she's right on the other, she may well face tax fraud charges because she got an advantage from treating it like an investment property for tax purposes. I'd add one more thing.
Exactly like she accused Trump of.
I wouldn't be surprised. First of all, most important thing is presumption of innocence.
Of course.
She's presumed to be innocent.
She's innocent.
Any defendant, and she has a fine lawyer who will make that case for her. But I also have to say, I think the prosecutor in this case was very impressive to put this together because it's a case that clearly is based on documents. And I also would say the media got it wrong beforehand. The media and her lawyer were all talking about a property on which she allegedly lied on a power of attorney, said it was a primary residence, but that was undercut by other documents she filed. This looks like a completely different property. That's not what this case is about, according to this. And what I would ask is, if she, as alleged, lied on the mortgage documents, what about other things? Did she put in an insurance policy on the property? What did she represent to the insurance company? Did she put in any claim? She could well face insurance fraud charges, but we don't know. We have to see the evidence.
You do describe this at where we are procedurally, the infancy of an indictment, and we know you can't have superseding indictments, a fancy way of saying I'm going to add stuff to it. You could also, though, have the potential for dismissals based on a number of factors. We don't know where things stand right now.
That's right.
But I am intrigued by you saying you are impressed by the prosecution of this, particularly given the fact that we know that Ms. Halligan, who is an attorney, and we're all presumed generalists, you know that, but she wasn't a prosecutor, but she's heading the EDVA, and the person that she took over the job from was ousted because he thought there wasn't sufficient evidence to bring any indictment against, I guess, Comey or Letitia James. Why do you think this should be viewed without skepticism, given 2 weeks ago they thought they had insufficient evidence?
Well, first of all, I don't know that we really know what happened on the scene. Remember, Mr. Comey had a relative working in that office. Did that influence a decision in the office? Who
A
then
different
resigned
division,
from the office?
National Security Division, I understand. I think there was a son-in-law who's not there. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about the person who was
Right.
the head of the
How
office.
about his daughter?
Who was the
Not a
U.S.
son-in-law.
attorney.
No. I understand, but that may well have influenced the decision. I don't know Mr. Siebert, and I really don't know why he was ousted, if he was ousted. And I do from media reports, it appears he was ousted. What I would say about Ms. Halligan is, though, this isn't just her indictment. She came on the scene and quickly, I'm sure, got together with agents. This wasn't put together by herself. She had to have worked with agents to put this case together, and a grand jury issued the indictment. Now, we all know it may not be so difficult to get a grand jury to indict. It's a one-sided process. But she put it together, and the grand jurors heard the evidence, not just what she had to say. One would think, I wasn't there. Nobody else was there, obviously. But we'll see how it plays out. But again, it doesn't rely on her credibility. It will rely on the documents in this case. And it's a serious case. These are 30-year charges.
It is
and
very
a forfeiture.
serious. No, I'm not dismissive of it at all. I mean, no one wants their name on the other side of a federal indictment, least of which somebody who is a prosecutor like a New York Attorney General. But I do wonder
who weaponized the justice system.
We don't have all the information about how they will ultimately present their case at trial when there's a different burden of proof. But I am skeptical about how a potential juror might see all of this in the political context, because try as we might, that will come in. What do you think?
I'm not sure that evidence will come in. It didn't come in a number of other cases, that the idea of political prosecution.
No, not the evidence. I mean, I don't want to cut you.
No, not the evidence, Shady. We can't talk about the evidence.
Look at the way she's like, I got to keep you specifically on point to my little psyop here.
We love mortgage fraud here at CNN.
Well, I don't mean the evidence when I say that. I'm talking about the optics will be contemplated by jurors.
The optics, not the evidence.
Could be, but on the other hand, maybe the optics will be if the chief law enforcement officer of the state of New York knowingly, as you pointed out, lied on documents that she filed to get advantage. And the difference here is, by the way, the bank did suffer a loss, according to the indictment. They suffered a loss in the interest payments that they would have gotten at $18,000, as you pointed out, over the course of a loan. That's also why there's a forfeiture process. But if the chief law enforcement officer of the state of New York knowingly lied on documents, then I think that should outrage people, and especially on the backdrop of someone who campaigned on, I'm going to get Donald Trump, and this theme of no one is above the law. I don't think you've seen the end of this thing. I wouldn't be surprised to see more evidence, maybe a superseding indictment, but we just don't know.
We have seen far from the end of this, but it's
Damn right we haven't seen far. So she wants optics or people's feelings to get in the way. Look, she weaponized the New York state government against President Trump and used actual federal DOJ resources. This was a setup. It was their plan. It was one of their insurance policies to get Trump, and it failed. And they used their department in New York to get Trump, guys. They weaponized the judicial system with weaponized judges to get Trump, and it backfired. And now we got a boomerang. Letitia James, you FA'd, and now you're going to FO.
You telling me the SDNY failed? The SDNY came up against him.
Well, it wasn't the SDNY in this case, but
with Letitia?
Yeah.
I thought, she was. What is it? She Southern District?
Nope. No. SDNY. It was now you're going to make me go look it up.
I guess so. I thought she was prosecuting him there from the. Isn't it?
No, not in Georgia.
Not Letitia James is a New York prosecutor.
Yes, but it wasn't SDNY.
Wow.
It was, she's the New York Attorney General, and it was the New York AG, and I don't know, guys. Just somebody help. Because it wasn't SDNY. We need to make sure, because it was East.
Eastern District? Not Southern District?
Eastern District, that's right.
Okay, well, the ESDY.
No, there's no S.
ESNY.
E.
Eastern EDNY. Eastern District.
What does ED mean, Shady?
Eastern District.
Oh.
You said East.
Are you sure?
There's four directions, Jeff.
You know I'm joking?
I don't know.
ED. All right. Yeah, and she is the AG.
Not that ED.
Yeah, she's New York State AG. That's right. Effectual. Okay.
New York State AG.
All right. So she's in trouble. Period.
I got the right state, Jeff.
You did get the right state.
And I'd like to also say that her hyperbolic, the way that the media is hyperbolic. I want you to pay attention to the way that they find themselves advocating for the person that's being prosecuted. Did you ever see the media advocate for Donald Trump as he was being prosecuted? You didn't see him do that. You didn't even hardly see the right wing advocate for him. They were saying, oh, well, he's being prosecuted and all this stuff is happening. Adam Schiff did the same thing, guys. So it's very possible that Adam Schiff's problems are going to be, I don't really care how you get them, just get them. And I think that Adam Schiff's problems are going to come out around mortgage fraud also, because he's a sitting senator and you're going to have to kind of go at him sideways. And I think that's the lead in for him. Sorry about the district.
Now we'll move on to James Comey really quick, because we only have another 13 minutes, Shady, because then we're going to go into hour number 2, premium content.
That's close. This
is the late, great Rush Limbaugh talking about James Comey that the president wants you to watch, guys. Look at this. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Check it out.
How many of you have thought, if you've thought about it, how many of you have heard or thought that James Comey was a lifelong Republican? I have. I've always thought that James Comey was a lifelong Republican. I've been told that James Comey is a lifelong Republican. Turns out not to be true. Are you aware that James Comey used to be a communist? In a 2003 interview with New York Magazine, James Comey said before voting for Jimmy Carter in 1980, he'd been a communist. He admitted, I'd moved from communist to whatever I am now. Now, we know that John Brennan, Obama's CIA director, was a communist, or at least had voted for the Communist Party. But I had never heard this about Comey. Now we find out that under Obama, the CIA director and the FBI director both had histories of not just flirtation, but serious immersion into communism. And like the KGB always said, no one ever leaves the KGB. Nobody ever leaves this way of thinking.
Wow.
They don't.
They don't.
They don't leave it.
And they haven't, obviously, with their actions. And look at the left now, Shady.
Yep. It's the perfect example of what you're seeing with these people that call themselves Antifa. You have to think it all the way through. They say they're Antifa, they're anti-fascist. Oh, you should be anti-fascist. What are they pro? What are they for? You go up to 85, 90% of them, walk right up to them and ask them what they are pro, and they will tell you that they are communist. They're not shy about it. And Antifa started in Russia as a way to create chaos in Germany before the war. Or during the war even. So all of these different things, like if you take the mask off, the anarchist is the communist. The communist is the person that doesn't want a border. The communist is the person that doesn't want to go to work. The communist is the person that thinks that they get something for nothing. And the communist is the person that thinks that you don't have the right to defend yourself with force and your property, or you don't even have any property to begin with. So they're all clearly communists.
Yeah, they are. And then he moves to me. What? Oh, you're so funny, Eddie. All right. Abs WIO, thank you. Happy birthday and happy early birthday, Steph. Thank you so much. Now we're going to go over to the Peace Prize. Everybody is acting like President Trump is controlled by Israel. Do you think Israel is happy with President Trump working with... What?
No, I don't.
Do you think that Israel is happy with President Donald J. Trump working with Middle East countries to free Palestine?
That's the last thing they want to do.
Do you realize that's what's happening, Shady?
They wanted this conflict forever. You're not going to be able to create World War III and peace at the same time, Jeff.
Mm-hmm. So let's listen to what Newt Gingrich had to say. This is pretty good. President Trump wants you to watch this as well. Check it out, Shady.
I think President Trump is now moving into being a world figure in the sense that President Franklin Roosevelt and Prime Minister Winston Churchill were. He is achieving an orchestration of all of the major Arab states in order to support a peace agreement, and he is bringing enough pressure to bear on Benjamin Netanyahu that the Israelis are going to go along whether they wanted to or not. And as a result, he's creating sort of a forge of peace out of the sheer pressure of his personality and his ability to create friendships. Friendships in Saudi Arabia, friendships in the UAE, friendships in Qatar, friendships in Egypt. I mean, this is an amazing orchestration by Donald Trump. If it works, and I suspect it will, you're going to see a moment of history that literally puts him in the same league as Franklin Roosevelt and Winston Churchill.
Yeah. Wow.
It's going to be bigger than that.
You know, there's people like, oh, they still have to do. Yes, this is phase one. They still have to do the deal. We're saving Israel for last. Maybe that news will unlock map. Guys, you don't understand how big this is.
It's so big because it's war, Jeff. It's World War I. It's World War II. You guys have to recognize that this topic, this subject, specifically Israel-Palestine, generated World War I and World War II. It generated the Nazis. It generated every single thing. You sit there and you want to be anti-fascist. You want to be communist. You want to be all these different things. You want to be, Mussolini. From like all these different things occurred because of this conflict. And they're trying to use this conflict again to create World War III. And God bless Donald Trump, because if we did not put him in there last November, what you would be seeing right now in this world would be very, very different. The whole planet would be on fire right now, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you have two people indicted now so far, guys. It's huge.
Oh, it's beyond huge.
And I didn't see any cuffs. It's not how the law works all the time, guys.
I can't believe they're even saying that, man.
I know.
It's so petty.
All right.
But they are petty. They're petty people. Like Candace and Tucker and all these people, they're petty and they're short-minded, and they are they're prostitutes for clicks. That's what they are.
Prostitutes.
Yep. Prostitutes.
I love it. She's busted, and oh boy, does she deserve it. The Attorney General of the state of New York, who made a total disgrace out of her office, out of herself, by waging those phony cases against President Trump. This is, you could call it retribution. Now, people are horrified. Retribution. How can you say retribution? President Trump shouldn't be carrying out retribution. Retribution, if you look up the definition, is punishment for bad behavior. All right? I mean, they did bad things. Not only did she do bad things against President Trump, but she did really bad things when it comes to real estate, buildings, where she claims she lived. How is it that the New York State Attorney General claims as her official residence Virginia? Well, that's what happened. Now, first off, let me see that. I love the way this looks, okay? Number one, it's the United States of America versus Letitia James, defendant. The USA, that is you, me, and 300 million people, versus this thoroughly corrupt woman. That's what I believe, and actually I think that is what the evidence will show. I do know she is depraved. I'll get to that in a moment. All right, what are the charges? 1 count of bank fraud, 1 count of false statements, and it gets to, well, a lot of trickery she pulled when she was getting a loan for her house, and it was somehow more advantageous for her to say that she lived in Virginia when she's obviously in New York.
Wow. Also, here's the breakdown real quick. The type of case against Donald J. Trump was civil, not criminal, filed by the New York State Attorney General Letitia James, a state official, not a federal prosecutor. The court was the New York State Supreme Court, New York County, Manhattan. That's the state trial level court. The case name was People versus the State of New York versus Donald J. Trump et al. So the judge was Justice Arthur Engoron, who loved Trump, by the way. You guys didn't know that.
Engoron!
Yeah. So the case was in a Manhattan state court, not the federal system. The Southern District of New York is the federal district that covers Manhattan. The Letitia James civil fraud case was entirely separate. It stayed within the New York state court system, not SDNY or EDNY. So we were corrected. Thank you, DQ.
Nice.
Both of us were corrected.
We're
With one.
it happens quickly around here.
It does. It does.
And we can take it too. We're grown. We're big boys.
No, I'm gonna like start attacking her now because she doesn't agree with my narrative.
You should just start attacking me because I got it wrong.
Well, I did.
Isn't that easier?
It is. All right, and I want to. Oh my gosh, we're getting to the end, but I wanted to play the Jesse Waters thing as well because we're
How long
talking.
is that?
It's long.
Uh-oh. I mean, if you want to take a few extra minutes today, I can, but that's up to you.
Okay.
So you decide if you want to run it, and then we go to the premium after.
It was really good, and I think it's about 9 minutes. So let's go now. Ready?
Let's go.
Let's go.
Remember the whisper that changed the world? Bush heard war. Trump heard peace. And the world's celebrating. Trump decided to get in on the party too. He gave Israel a ring and said, "Your families are coming home."
Mr. President, we believe in you. We know you've done so much for us over the past, since you became a president.
God bless you, Mr. President. God bless America.
Thank you very much. You just take care of yourselves. The hostages will come back. They're all coming back on Monday.
All of them. Donald Trump spent all night in the Oval Office, putting the finishing touches on the Israeli-Palestinian peace deal. He walked into his quarterly cabinet meeting, and it was all love.
I don't know if one day perhaps the entire story will be told about the events of yesterday, but suffice it to say, it's not an exaggeration that none of it would have been possible without the President of the United States being involved.
Next week, the last remaining hostages will return to Israel and be reunited with their families.
At some point very soon, we are going to see 20 living human beings emerge from the darkness into the light for the first time in 2 years. I think it will go down as a historic moment in the history of our country, and something our country should be very proud of, that we have a president that's committed to not just peace, but to the human aspect of reuniting these families.
The front page of the Jerusalem Post, he's bringing them home. Lives will always be more important than land. You can get land back, but you can't get lives back. And guess what day tomorrow is? Nobel Peace Prize Day. And Trump hasn't been thinking about it at all.
I know this, that nobody in history has solved 8 wars in a period of 9 months. And I've stopped 8 wars. So that's never happened before. But they'll have to do what they do. Whatever they do is fine. I know this. I didn't do it for that. I did it because I saved a lot of lives.
Trump's not being selfish. If he can't get the Nobel, he'll settle for a one-way ticket to heaven. But that Nobel would look nice next to his multiple club championships at Mar-a-Lago. Or in the Oval, the gold matches the trim. Trump's not the only one who thinks he deserves it. Israel says, stop the count.
A grateful nation thanks President Trump for the return of the hostages, for the peace he has brought to the region. I call on the Nobel Committee to award President Trump the Nobel Peace Prize.
The Jewish farmers like that idea too. In the fields, they carved Nobel for Trump. Even Democrats are saying it's too big to rig.
I think the whole point of having a Nobel Peace Prize is for ending wars and promoting peace. And if he brings the Ukrainian war to its end, I'll be the Democrat leading the committee.
Every Democrat should be celebrating, right? Rashida Tlaib used to spend weekends banging pots and pans outside of the Capitol, screaming, "Free Gaza." Well, Trump just freed Gaza. And what did Tlaib say? Nothing. Not a tweet, not a press release, nothing. Makes you wonder if she really wanted to free Gaza at all. Maybe she was more into the Intifada. Even the media is saying Trump pulled off the deal of the century.
Make no mistake, it looks like President Trump has actually pulled off something here that many presidents before him have failed to do.
It is a remarkable achievement, and President Trump most certainly deserves credit for his role. He has done this through diplomacy, pressure, and the sheer force of his personality and persistence.
There's no way that I can see that this would have been done without Trump's pressure in the final hours.
Biden couldn't pull this off because he had a nasty relationship with the Saudi prince. And after October 7th, didn't give Netanyahu enough room for revenge. Trump's first visit this term was to the Arab states, announcing a bonanza of billion-dollar deals. Then Trump joined Israel's attack on Iran, bunker busters. And then he said, all right, you two, knock it off, but still let Bibi have a free hand in Gaza. And then the prime minister miscalculated. He launched airstrikes against Hamas negotiators in Qatar. Qatar's an ally, a business partner. We have bases there. The Arab world was humiliated, and Trump was shocked. He summoned Netanyahu into the Oval, handed him a phone, and made him call Qatar and apologize in front of the cameras. Some said it looked like a hostage video. Afterwards, Trump put out a 20-point peace plan and told Bibi, sign it or American support for Israel's done. When the Israelis were still trying to nitpick parts of the deal, Trump said, stop looking for loopholes. Netanyahu countered, how do we know Hamas isn't just bluffing? Trump said, why are you being so effing negative? And he told Hamas, sign it or I'm letting Netanyahu off the leash. That means 72 virgins by New Year's. Historians are saying Bush the elder thought this was impossible.
I said, the man who spent decades dealing with this, I said, Mr. President, do you think this ever gets resolved? And he said, God, I don't know. That's what one of the most experienced diplomatic presidents in American history thought, that it was an unknowable thing.
Why couldn't career diplomats get this done? Kerry, Hillary, Blinken. We were told Biden was a foreign policy savant. And now Democrats are asking, what happened?
Why do you think that this was not doable when President Biden was in office?
I think the biggest problem that the President Biden had is there was no pressure from Qatar, from Turkey, from Egypt.
But I think by saying that, it's sort of an acknowledgement Trump has changed that dynamic.
The Middle East didn't respect Biden. It's never a good idea to tell the Arabs, you're swearing off oil and going green, and then come calling back to the kingdom begging for more oil from a guy.
When they know exactly what the system, the New World Order, has done to the Middle East, as we've been reading out in Pandora's box. Do you understand, guys? Trump understands. You understand, Shady, right?
It's so amazing to see what is happening because we understood, like you and I even talked about this, 6-7 years ago, whenever we were discussing how this was all going to play out. And what we, the conclusion we came to, if he were to able to generate peace in this part of the world, he ends their whole virtue signal. He ends the gaslighting. He ends the ability for them to be able to generate millions and millions and millions of clicks for BS garbage all over the place and get everybody hateful. Realize what he's saying right there. He's saying that the Zionists lost. You understand that, right? The Zionists that are in control of Israel, that have been trying to take control of Gaza and working in tandem with Hamas, with the CIA, with Mossad to do all of that, they've lost. They've just lost, and Donald Trump actually negotiated a deal where they have to compromise their position, which is everybody is telling me that Donald Trump is completely compromised by Israel and Israel controls America.
Israel controls Trump, Shady.
That's what I keep hearing.
Come on.
It sounds just
I had
like
a
that.
dream, Shady.
You did have a dream. Keep dreaming.
Now look, if you're not following the Friday shows with Pandora's Box, we went over what they did to the Middle East with the New York banks, with their pay-sewer banks, guys. Okay, they screwed them over, and then this guy says you got to give up oil. This is all their plan. They want everybody to to fail, Shady. They want everybody in control. It was control is what they were after.
Perpetual war. Perpetual war.
Who's going to end the endless?
We are.
Yeah.
Guy you called a killer. Leaving Afghanistan didn't help very much either. Trump was a lot different.
Obviously, the President of the United States, a New York real estate billionaire, one of the most famous New Yorkers in the world, has a lot of interaction with a lot of people who are very pro-Israel. I think that was an important set of experiences and life experiences that he brought to the table. He also, of course, knew one of the most famous Palestinians in the world, Chuck Schumer, and I think without that background...
With the help of Marco Rubio, Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner, and of course Donald Trump, all New York real estate developers put pressure on both sides and got them to sign on the dotted line. Personal diplomacy, business investments, and deterrence, aka Operation Midnight Hammer, convinced all the parties to listen and follow 47's lead because they trusted him, and most importantly, they respected him. When Biden said don't, everyone did. But with Donald Trump, when he says don't, then you don't. And now that's the rule even for Israel.
But wait. Trump is controlled by Israel, according to all the asshats on Twitter.
I think they might be in a brainwashed cult.
Wow. Time to tune into the MG show. DQ, thank you for the $25 Rumble rant. Wishing Stephanie a happy birthday, and you upped it by $5. Thank you. Also, Lydia, love you too. Thank you as well. And again, Tunnel Hill Cowboy, thank you for donating those 10 subscriptions.
The world was used to the Obama-Biden way of doing things. They just throw money at the problem. And when they didn't get results, they just throw more money. Trump's always been about making money, not giving it away.
Gaza is going to be slowly redone. You have tremendous wealth in that part of the world by certain countries, and just a small part of that, what they make will do wonders for Gaza.
With the hostages freed and when the fighting stops, fingers crossed, an alliance between Israel and Saudi Arabia can finally gel, and the Abraham Accords can spread. The crippling of the Iranian nuclear program made that possible. That means we can pivot to the Pacific and back into the Western Hemisphere if the Middle East can make money, not war. We spend our money on America, not light it on fire policing a troubled desert. And who knows, maybe we'll build a Trump Tower in Gaza overlooking the Mediterranean. The views are astonishing. Not a bad place to hang the Nobel.
Well, I wish I'd give it to him so we could stop talking about it, because it is so obnoxious that he thinks he should get it.
Why can't we talk about the Nobel? Obama got one. That was a DEI prize. Even he admitted he didn't earn it.
Obama got a prize. He didn't even know what he got. He got elected, and they gave it to Obama for doing absolutely nothing but destroying our country. No, he was not a good president. The worst president was Sleepy Joe Biden, but Obama was not a good president.
Trump stopped 8 wars since January. 8. A guy who stops wars, do you call him Hitler? How do Democrats feel now, trying to arrest the man who made peace in the Middle East? With all this success, maybe we should let him run for a 3rd term.
Wow. So there you have it, guys. You know, we've been saying that Trump is not controlled by Israel. Trump controls everybody, guys. He is a businessman. And how better, you got respect. How do you get respect? Well, you go and meet with the Middle East companies and you say, hey, you're going to be tariffed unless you're going to work with us, and they're going to work with us, and then they invest. They invest in America. This is going to give them jobs. This is going to give them a life. This is going to give them what we have, but they're going to do it, and we're not going to finance it, Shady. I mean, it's the art of the deal, guys. And what they did to those Middle East countries, okay, the New World Order, as we're talking about, we'll just call it loosely the New World Order. Oh, that's a conspiracy. No, it's real. They wanted to screw the Middle East with oil. And how did they do it? We outlined it in Pandora's Box episode on a Friday, I think 2-3 Fridays ago, Shady?
Yeah, I think it was about a month ago, maybe.
So by watching this premium stuff, Shady, you learn a lot, don't you?
Yeah, you really do learn a lot. You learn about the control system, and you learn exactly how it is. The biggest thing we're learning is how it's being detangled, and the specifics, the specific areas of it that Donald Trump is targeting. There's no way he's not understanding of it because of the precision that he's utilizing. We said a long time ago, this is brain surgery, not nuclear war. We like to save the patient. And so far, we're doing a pretty good job.
That's right. And PSA, if you were gifted a Red Castle, I believe you also receive 1 month of premium as well. And Yeti is going to take us to Premium Pandora's Box coming up now.
Thank you, guys. Much love.
The MG Show. Not funded by dark money, but funded by listeners like you.